This is First GenXers.
All right. Hello, and welcome to tonight's edition of Le Classroom, brought to you by First GenXers Broadcast Network, right here on the First GenXers Twitch, YouTube, and the KKW Network. I know all of that is a mouthful. We're all over the place. Probably seen our faces left and right in shorts and reels and TikTok. We all over the place. Just follow us, like, and subscribe. Trust me, it'll be to your enjoyment. All right. So we're here as usual to talk sports. I am your host, Dark Lord 100, aka KKW, and I am here with the lovely Miss O'Malley this week. One of these days, we'll get her and Suave back on at the same time. We had it a couple of weeks ago, but last week was Suave, this week is O'Malley, but the show stays just as good. So, all right.
Maybe next
let's
week.
Dig in. Yeah. So last week, I got to talk about the Max Crosby trade to the Baltimore Ravens with Mr. Suave. And we talked about how it was an interesting trade and that it did make the Ravens better, but we didn't really see too big of an upside. Suave tried to see an upside for the Raiders, but he's Mr. Positive. So what were your thoughts on the initial trade when it was supposed to go through?
Well, I knew my husband was going to be pretty upset. Because I know that was something that he was hoping that they would have gone. Although, after seeing what came out about it, I knew he would be much less upset than where one of the other possibilities that he was going to go ended up being. Actually, two of them, to be quite honest, because it was between Dallas and Chicago was the only other team that was willing to give them the 2 first-round picks that they wanted.
Yes.
So
Dallas wanted a first and a second, I believe.
Yeah.
Give them first and second.
I mean, to me, it actually kind of came as a shock, not that it was happening, just where it was happening.
Yeah, to who?
Yeah.
Same thing here. The interconference trade was just like.
Yeah. I was like, wait a second.
Like within the same conference. What?
Mm-hmm.
I
had to double check that it wasn't one of those proposed, right?
Yeah,
because all the time, it talks about the draft pick or the trade, and it's like you go and you're like, oh, wait a second. This is just some freaking dumbasses. This is what I propose. So I had to do a double take on that at first, but because I
saw one that said Stephon Diggs and Trayvon Diggs were going to reunite on the 49ers. I was like, okay, sure. Anyway, but needless to say, yeah, like it was an interesting turn of events that saw Baltimore end up rejecting Max Crosby.
Now that was dirty.
What was funny about it was, I think it was described in this reel that I saw. This guy that I follow does some pretty funny reels on Instagram and on Facebook about the NFL things, and it was like Baltimore gets the thing, and the Raiders are like, yeah. And so Max coming off the injury, he should be healthy by the offseason. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And 2 first-round picks, awesome. And he gets it, and then Trey Hendrickson walks up, hey, just trade for Max Crosby? He's like, yeah, I did. He goes, you could have signed me, though. And he's like, huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
The dirty part is like They were doing that while Max Crosby was in the fucking building.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, and then Trey Hendrickson ends the clip with him saying, "I'm a home wrecker." Though, here's what's ironic to me is I actually think Baltimore was the perfect place for Hendrickson because he hates the Bengals and now he gets to play them twice a year. Like now he gets to play them twice a year and get paid. So for him, the Bengals made more sense than almost anywhere else he could have gone. Now, in a stunning twist of events, with Crosby now coming back to the Raiders, there was a idea floated around that the Raiders maybe didn't tell Baltimore about Crosby's leg injury, so on and so forth, right? And they did it on purpose. Hold on. Check this out. So they did it on purpose. They traded him to Baltimore, right? Basically officially got him off the books as far as whatchamacallit. It's Tom Brady pitching this, mind you, in the skit that I'm watching. And he's like, don't tell them about the knee injury. Let him go to the physical. While he's gone to the physical, we signed Tyler Linderbaum, their center, away from them. We signed him to more money than he could ever go. Right? And he's like, yeah. He goes, then they reject the trade and send Crosby back. And they're like, we can keep them both. He's like, exactly. So now there's an idea being floated around that this was all masterminded by the Raiders and they didn't tell Baltimore so that they could sign Linderbaum away from Baltimore for that ridiculous contract that he got.
That doesn't make any sense though, because everybody and their mama knew about his knee injury. Like, yeah, I mean,
very much so.
He had surgery. It was a big deal that he was pissed that they had sat him the last game.
But it falls in line with the Ravens basically claiming that the reason why they let him go was because he failed the physical when they knew about everything that was wrong. They knew basically he was going to fail the physical.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
y'all knew.
It's also what came out with Crosby's agent afterwards, because then that fucks up any stock he has left there, because they're saying, oh, medical. And Crosby's agent came out and was like, first of all, his surgeon will tell you that he's ahead of schedule. Second, y'all knew all of this shit.
Y'all knew all of this shit. And yeah. But
so don't throw the player under the bus just because you're doing some shady other shit on the side.
Well, I'll say, and in the ultimate twist of twist, Max Crosby now will remain a Raider.
Well, for now.
Well, supposedly they're not looking to trade him, and he wants to stay. Yeah. He recommitted himself to Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So we'll see.
Because it behooves both those two together to make it seem like that. So he has more stock if and when they choose to do something.
We'll see. All right. So Max was not Max was not the only mover and shaker when it came to the NFL, the offseason this year. You
did one hell of a thing.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to talk about that, too. A couple of hell of a things, if you ask me. I want to say. And could look to do one more big splash, but I don't know. I think they're right that we could use them, especially with Bryce Huff retiring. But we'll get to that in a minute. The Rams have been trading for a bunch of people, Trent McDuffie, et cetera. They're trying to upgrade. Seattle's losing pieces left and fucking right. Every time I turn around, it's like former Pro Bowl Seattle safety, blah, 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 signs with this person. Blah, blah, blah. They're losing people, so I don't know about them repeating. They already lost their running back, Kenneth Walker, to the Chiefs. But here it is. So Malik Willis lands with the Miami Dolphins. 3 years, $67.5 million. Geno Smith is traded by the Raiders back to the team that drafted him, the New York Jets. And some actually see this.
I didn't have that on my bingo card this year.
Let me see. Daniel Jones re-signed 2 years, $88 million with the Colts, so he avoids playing on the transition tag. We know about Kenneth Walker. Travis Etienne signs a 4-year, $48 million deal with the Saints. So they lost him, but they got Chris Robinson Jr. from the Commanders. The Jaguars did to replace him. So DJ Moore is traded. Well, we knew that, to the Bills. And yes, let's get to this. So the San Francisco 49ers had themselves a hell of a opening week of the season. Initially, the first thing that dropped was that they re-signed kicker Eddie Pinheiro to a 4-year deal. Hell of a kicker. I do not blame them for that. I'm here for it. And then the big signing came. They signed Mike Evans to a 3-year, like $67 million deal to come in and be the wide receiver one. I'm here for it. Him, Ricky Pearsall, George Kittle. I think that's with Christian McCaffrey coming out the backfield. I think that's going to make for one dangerous defense or dangerous offense. Sorry. Sorry. They re-signed Jake Tongas, their backup tight end that actually played well down the stretch for George Kittle when he got injured down the stretch. They signed one of the starting offensive linemen from the Patriots. There's a guy named Vonga, and they signed another backup swing tackle. They're still working on contract negotiations with Trent Williams. Hopefully they get him back. They restructured Nick Bosa's contract to clear up another $17 million in cap room. And they brought back home a guy who decided to leave last year, almost made it to a Super Bowl, and is now back in the red and gold, and that would be Dre Greenlaw. They brought him back at the linebacker position to pair him with Fred Warner. Yeah, like I said, and then Nate Hobbs, former Raider and Packer cornerback, signed with the Niners as well, and they signed another punter. I don't know where Thomas Morstead went, but maybe he retired. But they signed another punter as well. The big name that I was talking about that might be coming to the Niners, and love to get your thoughts on this, is we talked about this a little bit last offseason too, when the rumors were flying around about Joey Bosa, who is a free agent. He had only signed a 1-year deal with the Bills. Making his way down to San Francisco.
The fact that his brother restructured his deal, kind of feels like there could be a quid pro quo.
Yeah, you don't really give up money for nothing, you normally, and so, and that is his brother.
You don't really have to.
Yeah.
So, that would be interesting. I know Mama was pushing for it last year.
Yeah. Evidently, Mama sent out another cryptic tweet about Joey potentially signing with the 49ers. I think she would just be happy because she only have to go to one stadium every Sunday.
Yeah.
Wherever, and see both of her boys.
Right.
It was kind of like the Harbaughs when the Harbaugh mom and dad when
the
when
Kelseys.
The boys, yeah, or the Kelseys, yeah. But I don't know. I think that I agree with this article that I read on NBC Sports Bay Area. I think it was Matt Mioka wrote an article, and probably not. I'm misremembering the name, but he's the only one I really remember from that. But an article that talked about basically it's a win-win for both. For all parties involved. Bosa gets to play with his brother. He gets a decent salary, 10, 12 million, probably somewhere around there. He's not expected to start and play the majority of the snaps every day. He's a rotation piece. And, he doesn't have to be explosive all the time. He just has to be, he just has to be what Joey Bosa can be. And so I agree with that. I think it would be a win all around if they manage to sign him. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But I do say so far they've had a big free agency period. And this is really the most active free agency period I've seen them have for a while. They are in a while. Oh, and they also traded a 3rd-round pick to the Dallas Cowboys. I was saying this to Swab. I was like, this was hilarious to me. I read this article. You can tell me your thoughts on this. Where they said Dallas has 3 defensive tackles, right? After getting rid of Kenny Clark in the Micah Parsons trade, or after getting Kenny Clark in the Micah Parsons trade in Green Bay.
Mhm.
All right, they had 3 defensive tackles. They had Kenny Clark, they had Quinnen Williams, former New York Jet, and they had this kid Quay Kondazi, right? I probably just butchered his name, but I know his name is Quay something. He was the youngest. Statistically, he was their best defensive tackle last season. Like pass rush win rate, run block, run stop win rate. By statistically, he was the best one that they had, and he's the youngest. So I call this another classic Jerry Jones move, where you keep the 2 old guys that maybe only have 2 or 3 years left in their career.
It's very Jeannie Buss and LeBron James.
Yeah, and keep the young and trade away the young stud that could be a dominant defensive. Okay,
right?
We'll take him. Don't worry about it. We got it. But the Raiders made some interesting moves as well, picking up Quay Walker from Philly. There was a lot of movement from teams that were really good last year or semi-good, that teams just let players walk, and that would surprise me with as much as the cap went up this season, like something like close to $28 million we jumped this year. So I figured a lot of these players would probably be staying put, getting paid by their squads, but they're all moving teams.
Well, not when they can still go and get paid more somewhere else.
Well, we also had Tua land in Atlanta. Malik Willis ended up, I said that a little bit earlier, didn't I? In Miami, replacing Tua Tagovailoa. Like,
how is anyone insuring Tua at this point?
I don't know. He's now entering the backup phase of his career. But the young quarterback, the young quarterback that sits ahead of him.
Bro, his brain doesn't change just because he's the backup and not the starter. Fuck.
No, but it does take a lot less hits.
One more and he could be freaking Rocky, okay? Like, I mean,
look, as long
bro,
we live in a world where as long as somebody is willing to pay you and you're willing to work,
it's insane. It's absolutely insane to me. You can't be that hard up at this point that you're literally, you have more future outside once football is done than the whole time you like, don't ruin the future that is your life for some stupid shit.
Let me say it like this. The Miami Dolphins paid you $100 million to play somewhere else. Like just think about that.
Remember your name when your kids graduate from high school?
It's very similar to the Kyler Murray situation, which Kyler Murray landed in Minnesota. But it's very similar to the Kyler Murray situation. Like, Kyler can't really talk too much crap, even if he does start from Minnesota, because bro, Arizona paid you $40 million to go away. Like, they cut you with dead money left on the cap, where they owed you $40 million. Yeah, like they're paying you $40 million.
They would rather lose money than to continue to employ you.
Like Tua, like here's the thing I'll say about Tua. Love him to death. I think when he's healthy, he's a great quarterback. But Tua, you can't mock anybody else. You gotta. I hope you are humbling yourself, because from now on, whenever you get uppity, all somebody's gonna look at you and say is a team took a historic dead cap hit just to get you to fuck off their team. $99 million is the largest dead money cap hit a team has ever taken to release a player.
Just take it and fucking retire.
That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done. I'm good. I don't need to sign anywhere else. And like he's signing with Atlanta on the league minimum. But I wouldn't even have done that. Why? You getting $100 million over the next 2 years. Why? What? Do you have 47 kids? Is that what it is to a? Are you on a Nick Cannon
he's
shit?
not Tyreek Hill.
Like if it's just you, your wife, $100 million is enough to set up your kids.
That's enough to start generational wealth.
Yes. Go open up a car dealership, bro. Tagovailoa.
A good idea.
Tagovailoa's an EV car shop. That's what it is. Tagovailoa's Hondas. That's what we call it. Tagovailoa Honda. Well, he'll throw you the best deal. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Throw away the best deal.
If somebody gave me $100 million over the next 2 years to fuck off, guess what? I'd be fucking so far off that they would never even know I existed anymore. Goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. I'm buying a private island.
You took it right out of my head. I'm like, you could buy an island for less than a quarter of that.
Oh, man. All right. So, needless to say, yeah, it's been a lot of interesting stuff going on in free agent. Now, let's talk a little bit about also the historic contract that was given to Mr. Linderbaum by the Raiders. It was like 3 years, $67 million or something like that. It was a historic contract. There it is. All right. 3-year, $81 million contract making him the NFL's highest paid center at $27 million annually. Is it worth it because you have a young back like the guy's a great run blocker, and you have a young back like Ashton Genty back there, and you'll have a young stud in Fernando Mendoza after the draft? No, you don't think so?
No, because I think you can get all of that in much less.
Okay.
I mean, I guess maybe they're looking at it as it's a protection for our current and future investment, I guess. But why?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, part of it is I'm not even looking at the who, it's the position.
Yeah. Why invest that much money at the center position?
Why? Yeah, because why are you setting a really crazy market value, first of all, when it's not necessary?
I think they could have gotten him for closer to like 17 or 20.
Yeah. Because what? Did you think that there was some threat that someone else was going to come and even come close to something crazy like that?
Probably not. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I don't think he sees a contract like that if not from the Raiders. And I think
you have pictures of
Mark Davis, Mr. Bowl and some hookers. Anyway. But no, I think it was overpaying him to guarantee that he was going to come to Vegas, and then B, overpaying him because you snatch an important piece from one of your biggest competition, despite it they're not really competition because the Raiders still suck in Baltimore. You weaken Baltimore and you make your team a little bit better. It's going to suck because I was telling Suave, like, I actually liked it better when they had traded Crosby and they had the 1st and 14th, because then they could take Mendoza with the 1st and then take whoever the best tackle is in the draft, at 14 and help solidify that O-line. You get yourself a young tackle, you get yourself a stud center like Linderbaum, Now you've got an offensive line that can get some shit done. But we'll see. They don't have the 14th pick anymore. It goes back to the Ravens, who now have Trey Hendrickson. Go figure. All right, so that's going to do it for us for the first half of the show. We now only have it's like a 3.5 minute commercial break instead of 5 minutes. So woohoo, we're improving. Let's see. So we are going to go ahead and take that break, and we will be right back. And we will be talking NBA, Jason Tatum's return, as well as OKC and Wemby or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's new record for the NBA. You are watching The Classroom right here on First GenXers Broadcast Network and the Double KK Double Network. Peace.
We back at it. Yep, we still doing it. Poetic beat. First GenXers. Gia. Let's get it, y'all. Come on. We back in the building. It's been a long time cooking in the soup kitchen. And I'm chilling with the saint. Dropping these beats won't stop, nope, I can't. Let me get up in the lab, turn it up. Game on with the First GenXers. What's up? Let's flip on the Switch or the Xbox and get up in my zone, I'm clowning. Let me clear my throat for a minute. Shout out to my folks while I'm in it. It ain't nothing but love, it's babe business. I really don't know what's so who ain't feeling this. And this is only the beginning. Now versus then, this is something for the chillin'. Poetic got the joints like McDonald's. I'm loving it. It's the First GenXers. We're now rocking with Poetic Beats. This is the First GenXers production. Get your PlayStations out. Get your Xbox out. Get your Switch out. Let's get it in, y'all. Holla back.
Got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. You got to keep it. You got to keep it lovely. Success comes right after the struggle. I ain't even giving up on whatever I wanted. The tragedies I've seen, I can't even stomach. Most of y'all weak as shit and would've started running. Every time I make it back to the crib, I'm thankful the Most High let me see all of it. Grateful I'm lovely, and I'm being real with this. Please don't judge me. I'ma stay on my shit.
Adam's family dynamic between Pugsley and Wednesday. Very true.
Yeah.
Well, I always temper this because I think
I did not like the perceived caution tagline.
I've also seen what Chase Center looks like when the Valkyries are fucking playing, so fuck all of you. Because Chase Center is packed no matter what's going on.
All right. And we return after that quick promo break. Oh, wait a minute. Sitting up here. There we go. And there we go. Ha! Bring back all the stuff from where out. There we go. All right. So the NBA has had some interesting things happen, and we'll kick off with just talking about what I consider to be two of the most interesting stories to start this NBA week 21, or to happen during this week 21. And that is, first and foremost, congratulations to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's broken Wilt Chamberlain's streak of 100, and I believe 76 was the record, consecutive games scoring at least 20 points. He has now reset the record to 177. So, and it'll continue on until he doesn't have 20 points in a game. So, and then the other one crazy thing that happened this week was, what was it? Sorry.
Bam Adebayo.
Bam Adebayo of the Miami Heat scoring 83 points in an NBA game in a way that 40-something free throws, like in a way that just was wow. I don't knock it. I don't praise it. It is what it is. He scored, as long as he scored the buckets, it is what it is. Your thoughts on this amazing week of basketball?
Well, I'll start with the Bam thing, just because I feel like some of the reactions that have been coming out have been kind of mind-blowing. Like, about how it's disrespectful to Kobe and that he should have eased up. And it's like, that attitude to me is what's disrespectful to Kobe.
I was just going to say, I don't think Kobe would be saying that.
Absolutely not. And so that is, out of that whole thing, that reaction to me was, I think, the craziest part about all of it.
100%.
Because that is feels like the antithesis of what Kobe would have. I mean, that just goes against every fiber in his being. And I mean, the man wanted to play without Shaq so that he could prove that it wasn't Shaq that won him his championships. That just feels weird. But for the other part, I mean, well, it was Wilt's record that he broke, and that feels kind of weird. And so whatever. But I mean, it is kind of crazy too when you look at what I'm sure whatever the age differential probably was between the two of them when they hit that point.
Yeah. Because Wilt didn't really become that beast until later on in his career.
Yeah, and SGA is a fucking child.
He's a baby.
Yeah.
23, 24, already an MVP, already a finals MVP, already a champion. Kid.
I mean, that's almost,
there's still years left.
Right, because we've also seen what happens when some of these kids hit their full ceiling this young, this early, and the pressure that there is to be that for your entire career is crazy.
I don't understand. Appreciate it while he's doing it, and then understand that this isn't going to last forever.
Right.
It never does.
No.
All right. So some of the other stories that came out is both OKC and the Spurs clinch. The Thunder became the first team to clinch a postseason spot on March 1st, followed shortly by the Spurs, who are 49-18. Let's see. OKC entered this week on an 8-game winning streak. Like I said, they're having that type of season like the Warriors had a few years back, or when they had KD, when they were winning they'd win 7-8 straight, and then they lose one, and then they'd win 9 straight, and then they lose one, And so it's not many people outside of the Spurs that are really even going to challenge OKC. Wemby just gives everybody fits. So ain't really much you can do that. I'm sorry. I had this conversation with Suave when he was on, and we were talking about Wemby. That's before he started the whole Spurs didn't deserve Wemby stuff thing. We were talking about the fact Wemby's superpower is that he's tall. That's it. I'm not saying the man is not skilled at basketball. He truly is. But his superpower that makes him such a dominant player is that he's tall. he can just reach up over people. He can literally grab a rebound before it comes down to the head of the 6'9" dude. Like, just right out of midair. So, but anyway, speaking of that tall, after having, he had a week that included a 38.16 rebound and 5 block performance against the Pistons and a 39-point game against the Celtics. The Spurs have only lost once with him in the lineup since January 31st. Is Wemby making a push for MVP? Like, should Wemby win the MVP this year?
I don't know.
What's up, Tech Tinkers? Thanks for tapping in. Like,
I mean, maybe. Like, I still feel like, well, I mean, I don't necessarily see anything quite yet that's definitive towards one person or another. Like, I feel like there is still, like, how does your team finish the season? How do you finish the season? Like, who puts their team in the best, on the best foot for the postseason? Like, some of those things matter. So, I mean, an argument absolutely can be made, but I think an argument can be made for several people right now.
I think that it's a two-man race between him and Jaylen Brown. And what I mean by that is this: there's not that there hasn't been other people that are important to their squad. It's that I genuinely don't think that there's anybody that has been more important to their squad than those two. If Boston somehow lost Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown at the beginning of the season, they are nowhere. You know what I'm saying? They're nowhere near where they're at right now.
Right.
And without Wemby, as talented as that Spurs squad is, they're not doing what they're doing right now without him. So,
absolutely. I still think, though, that included in that is how they end up finishing the season.
Yes, 100%. 100%.
So, but I don't disagree at all, because those are the two players right now that, should you remove them from the teams as the teams stand in this moment, wouldn't be where they're at.
Fair enough. Then again, the same argument can be made for OKC with Shai Gilgeous. They're not where they're at without him.
But it's also, I think it's more difficult to repeat than it is for somebody else to get, right? Because what more did he do this year? Or, what is the other competition around him versus last year?
True. All right. And the Lakers last night, led by Luka Doncic, have won 5 straight and moved it from 6th to the 3rd seed. Doncic had a great week, having a 44-point fantasy week, having a 44-point performance.
Well, let's also be clear here. The 3 to 7 spots are within a half a game to 1.5, 2 games within that entire group. So that 3 to 7 is not much of a jump.
Well, they only had to win five straight to make that jump. I'm not saying winning 5 straight NBA games is easy. I'm just saying you only had to win. You didn't have to win 10 or 15 straight to move from the 6th to the 3rd spot. You just had to win 5 straight, and you were in the 3rd spot. So, but I don't think the Lakers are catching. They're 42 and they're still 6 games behind, basically 5.5 games behind the Spurs for the 2.
Yeah.
So I doubt they're catching the Spurs.
Yeah. No, I was actually talking to my husband about this earlier because he called and wanted answers to all of these questions while I was trying to relax. And he's like, well, this is homework for your show. And I said, no, don't try to sell that this is for me, sir. Don't.
No.
But we were talking about 1 and 2 is going to stay where it's at. 3 through 7 is going to have some, and then it's going to take a prayer since we are at 4-game losing streak.
Yeah.
For us to,
And players dropping like flies. GV2, Quentin Post, friggin' like, come on, can they just get healthy? Like, just get everybody healthy. Steph ain't been back, gonna be reevaluated in another 10 days. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm about ready to give up on this season. I really am. I'm about ready to just say screw it and call it a day. Because it's not a matter of this team isn't good enough. This team can't get they're having the same type of year that the 49ers had, except the result is just a lot different.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody's injured. Everybody.
Well, and that's where like this is just stop trying to even get in the playoffs at this point. Yeah. Stop trying to even get in the play-in. Fucking take the hit. See what we can do in the draft. We're hoping that Jimmy comes back after this injury next season. A healthy Curry. Let him just fucking recuperate for the rest of the year. Bring in a couple of young guys that are going to maybe start being groomed. And then maybe it is you got a one last shot between, Jimmy, Steph, and Draymond.
I would love to see them bring back, I'll be honest with you, just because of how this year went with injury and everything, I would love to see them run it back with Al Horford and Kristaps Porzingis and adding them to the combination of Jimmy, Draymond, Steph, you know what I'm saying, and Post with another year underneath them, Moses Moody with another year underneath them, Pods with another year. I would love to see that team run it back and see what they could do if they could stay healthy most of the season. Because I think they could do something. Like I think that they legit could. But we will see. We will see. All right, so the last subject to talk about is the return of the one and only Mr. Jason Tatum, who tore his ACL last year, I believe at the beginning of the playoffs, and finally made his pushback. Do you think this changes anything for the Celtics, or are they still in the same position as they were before? Does this now make them the favorites coming out of the East?
I mean, I don't know because he's still, I've been paying attention to this somewhat. He's still not playing full minutes, right? Like they're rationing his minutes. He's also been very clear coming into this that this is Jalen's team right now, right? And so, it could, but part of that depends on what he is looking like coming back. We don't really...
statistically, he's had a couple of good games. I want to say in the second game, he had like a 15, 12, and 10 triple-double or something like that. So he's looked decent. Like, I can't say, oh, he's old Jason Tatum, like the dude that would explode for 30 and 15 rebounds and like that. But he looks like he's ready to contribute in any way that he can, which is good for Boston. Yeah.
It is, but this always scares me the most for the player who's coming back, because to come back, and I know that a lot of times that this is what they work for. Like, I'm working to try to get back for, the postseason, right. what have you. But if you think about it, like, that's actually the time it would terrify me for somebody coming back the most, because they're liable to fuck some shit up because of how they go out and play there differently. Granted, I understand, hasn't been playing all season and all of that, but yeah, that's some of the issue right there. Right. So, it's not postseason yet. There's some games left. There's time for him to like really get the feel. It really could be what elevates the team to that next level, and not in the way that most people think that I mean right now, but I just mean his presence, his being back, and that being like an extra just kick to the motivation for everybody else. Because also, like, there is this thought of where would they have ended up last year but for that injury.
Right.
So
and
it's interesting.
A lot of people, to be honest with you, a lot of people saw them going the same route that Indiana has gone. when Jason Tatum was supposed to be out. That's why Jaylen Brown is up for MVP this year. So adamantly by so many people, because a lot of people thought that Boston wasn't going to do. That they were going to be sitting near the bottom of the league, probably getting a high lottery pick without Jason Tatum, and here we sit with Boston. I think it's the 3rd seed in the East,
which is crazy to me because Jalen's the one that's won Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like stop selling this kid short. Like, but
I know this. Jaylen Brown would have took them far even without Jason Tatum, but I'm pretty sure he's glad to have his running mate back. Just like Fred Warner is glad to have his running mate back in San Francisco and Dre Greenlaw. Like sometimes when you play with somebody for so long, it's just nice to be playing alongside.
I mean, you used to see that with Steph and Clay. Like,
one was out for an
they
extended
feel
period
like
of
a
time.
package deal kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, and last NBA subject is I heard a thing where they said that Steph made a comment during an interview about how he would be willing to take a off the bench type role with the Warriors later in his career if that's what was necessary to help the team win a championship. I couldn't verify it anywhere. Not to say that it's not real. I just never looked up verifying it. But it sounds like a Steph thing to say. Like he's that type of dude.
He already does that. He's already done. I mean, maybe not off the bench, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's never been, I don't think that's been anybody, at least not anybody who watches them or knows him, a question in anybody's mind.
100%. All right. So we're going to go from that into non-NFL or NBA stories, and we'll start with Selection Sunday, which was kind of a big deal this week, huh? Like the team Suave was talking about last week, Miami of Ohio, they got in. I don't know where they got in, but I'll say they there it is. They got in, but they weren't a number 1 seed because they ended up losing to UMass in their conference championship, or not in their conference, in their conference. Whatchamacallit? Here it is. Printable bracket. All right. There we go. All right. So you got Duke is the one in the East. Florida is the one in the South. Arizona is the one in the West. Figures. And Michigan is the one in the Midwest. Hey, Wolverines back up there again. I saw they were number 1 earlier this year. I'm trying to see where Ohio landed. That's Ohio State. California Baptist made it into the NCAA tournament. And like not even in a play-in type manner. Like they're actually in as a 13 seed.
Who?
That's crazy work. California Baptist. That's what it says.
They're trying to be the next St. Mary's.
I guess so. Oh man. Okay, I don't see Ohio on here anyway. So Ohio didn't make it in. That's crazy work if they didn't. That's straight crazy work if they didn't. Yeah. Any thoughts on this year's field, Miss O'Malley?
Did UCLA make it in?
I believe so. Hold on. There it is. Bracketology. All right. No. No, watch. More sports. There you go. Oh my goodness, where is the? There it is. This thing is like, there you go. Boom. Okay. Yep, California Baptist. UCLA got in as a 7 seed in the East.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so my husband this is the time of year that we don't get along because he's very much, he's from Southern California, and my understanding is that this is actually a thing down there for those who aren't alumni, but he's a USC football fan and a UCLA basketball fan.
I ain't never heard of that.
Well, that's what I said. But in speaking to multiple people from Southern California, that actually is the thing. It's crazy to me, but I guess maybe when you are somewhere where you grow up, where you do have two colleges that are literally like right there like that, and one is historically good in football and the other is historically good in basketball.
Yeah. Well, I'll say it like this. I feel his pain because I have been mocked many of times for finding myself growing up and ending up being an Oakland A's fan and a San Francisco 49ers
Well,
fan.
and so that's actually what his whole argument is that in professional football and baseball, there's a lot of people that don't like the same city team. And I was like, but that's not even in the same zip code as similar, because there isn't always one of each there, you weirdo.
In California, we live in a very unique experience.
We do. We really do. And I've got
to... we don't anymore
but you know what?
The Raiders left and the A's left.
To me, that would be like somebody saying, I like Kansas State football and Kansas basketball, or Arizona State football and Arizona basketball.
Yeah. I can understand, like, I'll say it like this. No, I was going to say I could understand being a fan of, like, USC football and Cal basketball. But then I was like, nah, that don't work either.
No.
It doesn't, none of it works.
So this is, yes. But his sister went to UCLA. So, I mean, he's got a wife that went to USC and a sister that went to UCLA. So I guess technically he can get away with it.
He can. He has ties.
It still don't make no fucking sense to me.
It's hilarious. I'm a Cal fan. We all know that. Went to a Cal basketball game with a friend of mine who's a Ducks fan. And it was back when Peyton Pritchard of the Boston Celtics was still playing for the Ducks. And it was actually a pretty decent game. Oregon won. I don't want to say by a lot, but they won. But it was funny because he took me and he had me sit in the Duck section, in the away team section is where he bought the tickets. And that's where we sat. And I was wearing my Cal jersey. All right. And so he keeps trying to get me to go Ducks. I'm like, no, go Bears. Like, you're not going to get me to do that. Sorry, no. And he's like, yeah, go Ducks, right? So we're walking by, and this beautiful young lady is walking by us the other way, and she's wearing an Oregon shirt, right? And I look over at him, and he looks at me, and I go, she could make me say, go. And he just started dying laughing. I was just like, well, man has his limits. But needless to say, like, it's weird when people cross rivalries like that, because normally
it's like the giant baseball freaking Oakland. Well, that doesn't count anymore, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the opposite of you. Like, it's the So I get
the Raiders
that.
fan
That's never
Giants
made
fan.
sense to me either. But
I'll say, all right. Saint telling on himself, saying that he loves Stanford football,
Yeah,
but
Saint
Cal
doesn't
basketball.
count. You don't count either.
That don't make no sense, boss. Like,
that's not allowed. Like, this is exactly what is not allowed. Okay? Because they're also direct rivals against each other. Fucking you and my husband are fucking weird.
I'm Cal football, Cal basketball, Cal baseball.
And I was Cal everything until I went to graduated from USC, and that just kind of changes things.
Fair enough. Fair
They're
enough.
still
I never
my
attended.
number 2 team, since it's not like we're in the same freaking. That doesn't matter. I didn't grow up with parents. You're pointing at me.
What was funny is my dad was a USC guy because he actually went. Oh no, my dad was a UCLA guy. He actually went to UCLA and almost ran. He was supposed to run for their track team before he got into a motorcycle accident and messed up his knee. Saint says, "Good to see you, O'Malley." But yeah. So it's like, but my mom never had any allegiance to any particular college. So I've actually been free to like roam around colleges. I was a UNLV fan at one point. I was a Michigan fan for a couple of years. Michigan has always still been my secondary team, my other team outside of Cal.
Yeah.
And yes, I hate Ohio State just as much as I hate Stanford and USC. Like, but that's just because I will see, and mark my words, I will see at least once in my lifetime Cal beat USC for 1 year. 1 year, that's all I want. If that could be the only game they win all season, I'll be happy. It'll be nice. Oregon, I don't know.
I mean, I've seen it happen. I've been there when it's happened.
Yeah, when Cal beat USC?
Oh, no, when Cal beat Stanford.
Oh, yeah, Stanford? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we own Stanford.
Well, Cal's beat USC, too.
I don't remember a time in which we've beaten USC since I've been paying attention. Maybe it was during the 80s. But I don't think they've beaten them in modern day. Like, they've come close a couple of times. Like, the best opportunity that they had was during the Aaron Rodgers years, and that they didn't even do it then. Or maybe I'm tripping.
Okay. Cal football has 33 recorded wins against USC, with notable recent victories in 98, 2000, 2003, 2018, and 2023.
Wow, okay, my bad. And I have not been paying attention. I could swear every time that I see the Cal USC game, it's Cal losing. But I will concede my loss on that one. I was wrong. My bad.
I'm like, that doesn't even sound right. Yes, they did go from 2003 to 2018 without a win. So that was a chunk of time.
It felt like forever.
Well, it was 15 years. Yes.
Oh, man. But yeah. Let's see. All right. So, and then the last subject that we're going to chat about tonight is the World Baseball Classic. As we are now down to the semifinals, and the matchups are defending champion Japan, Italy, the U.S. narrowly beating Canada, sets up a high-stakes semifinal showdown against the Dominican Republic. So it's going to be Venezuela versus Italy, and then the U.S. taking on the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about this tournament in general, because I've never really watched a full tournament. Like, and I'm a baseball fan. I'm a big baseball fan. At least I used to when I was a kid. I was a stats guy. I used to love doing that, tracking all that. But I don't know. Like, this just The World Baseball Classic. It's supposed to bring, like, it's supposed to be basically baseball's version of the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
Then if that's the case, do it once every 4 years instead of every year. Make it something special. You know, but every year it's kind of grinded on me since they went to doing it every year. But here's the controversy that I want to laugh about. I had a bunch of friends, especially my friends in my group chat from my fantasy football league. They all were getting on the American coach for not knowing that his team, if they lost, wouldn't advance. But they ended up making it to the next round anyway. But he was unaware that he thought they had already qualified for the next round. And so he coached as if they had already qualified for the next round. And almost cost them a trip to the next round, if not for, I think, Italy losing and allowing them to the semifinal round. So, incompetent coach or just anybody can have that blunder? What do you think?
I mean, it's kind of a big thing, but at the same time, it's like, right, we know that in some sports, from college to professional, the rules change. From college to travel ball to, like, there's a bunch of reasons that one could argue that, like, give the dude a break. Also, like, I mean, whatever. On the other hand, one would think that, like, you should know something like that. And one could also argue that not knowing also impacts the way that you're coaching. Because if you're coaching with a mindset that we've already made it, that might impact how you coach in that moment. So that's why I find that concerning more than anything.
100%. Like, it concerns me. Or at minimum, there should be somebody within the organization that keeps you abreast of these situations. Even if you are not directly looking into it yourself, there should be somebody that keeps you. Hey, yeah, coach, yeah, man, just so you know, if we lose this game, we don't go to the next round. Oh, shit, we haven't qualified for it yet? No, we haven't qualified for it. All right, cool. Thanks for telling me. That's all it takes. You have a paid intern. You have an unpaid intern. Let him do it. Part of your responsibilities is to make sure that the coach is aware of where we're at in the standings at the beginning of each game. There you go. So I got to do one line in the position description. There you go. But yeah, like, at the end of the day, they did make it to the next round. We'll see what they do against the Dominican Republic. Baseball, I like things like this sometimes because baseball has always been considered a world sport. It's kind of like always why when I get the itch for the U.S. to do well in the World Cup in soccer, it's because, like, we're looked at as like the bastardized brother of some worldwide soccer.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
and I think that we have the athletes within this country to compete at a high level. You know, and so I want to see them compete like that. It does kind of come like that sometimes with baseball, because baseball has always been a, like, Latin, Dominican, sport. Like, yes, it was created by the white man. Babe Ruth was one of the first people that was good at it. But since it's been integrated, the sport has really been taken over by people of color.
And you've also got in there Japan and Korea as well.
Yeah, and Asia, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. So to see the U.S. team do well would be nice, just because it would prove that, well, although some of these other countries seem to do it better, so in some cases, it's still an American sport,
Yeah.
And so, good luck to them. Good luck to them. The Sharks are getting my hopes up. I believe they're close to making the playoffs, but I know they aren't going to do anything. But the GM is doing everything he can to keep his job. So that's all I can really ask of him. He's making moves, signing players, cutting players, trading players, getting draft picks back. He's doing what he can. At least they can't say he didn't do anything. He stood by idly and did nothing.
Right.
All right, so that's going to close us up for this week. We're going to have our atypical last words from the one and only O'Malley.
Fuck LeBron.
There you go. It's just that simple.
Go Celtics.
Go Celtics is right. Yep. Warriors, just get in the ambulance, go to the hospital.
Just
and we'll
go
see you next
home.
week.
Go to Cabo. Go just relax. Let's give this a shot next season.
Yeah, for sure. That'll do it for us. Thanks to all the people that showed up, that tapped in, Saint, Tech Tinkers, we appreciate you. And everybody who tapped in on YouTube as well, on either the First GenXers or the Double KK Double Network. And we will see you guys next week with Mr. Suave. Will be back in the house as well. And hopefully we'll have O'Malley. And the three of us will. As long as
dude, bro.
No, I was just gonna say that.
Time changes and
have you watched any of the new episodes of Scrubs, the new season of Scrubs?
No.
Yes, it is hilarious.
I'll have to check it out.
If you like the original series,
Yeah.
like, it's fun. But there's a scene where one of the they've introduced a new group of interns, and one of the young interns overhears JD complaining about like being a fuddy-duddy basically. And she goes, "Hey, Dr. Jordan, we're going to a rave tonight. You know, it's Friday night. We're going to a rave tonight if you'd like to go." And he goes, "You know what? I'm in." And she goes, Great. We'll come pick you up at midnight." He looks at her and goes, "Midnight? Like at night? No, I'm out." Walks away, and I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's when the party starts. Oh no, man, that's way past my bedtime.
No. I need to be home by 9. In fact,
on my way home by 8:30.
Where like it's gotta be day drinking or nothing at all.
We either partying at noon or we not partying at all.
Yeah,
it's okay.
We're meeting for dinner at 5:30, or shit ain't happening.
You know. All right. So y'all have a great night. Stay up, stay real, be safe, and we'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Bang, 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 bang.